Hi everyone, how is it going? My name is Tonette and welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're coming back, welcome back. So for today's video guys, I am very excited to share to you an amazing experience that I have encountered today. As you all know from my previous video, a month ago I was scheduled for my US Citizenship Interview, and that day is actually today. Yep, I just finished my interview and I would like to share to you guys my whole experience for today. It's still fresh, so I wanted to create this video as soon as possible so I can share to you all the informations and just the full experience itself. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the video. So my appointment for today was at 10 o'clock in the morning. The USCIS field office located here in Houston, Texas is actually 30 minutes away from where I live. So I decided to leave my house this morning around 9 o'clock and I got there at exactly 9:30 a.m. So it gave me 30 minutes to sit, relax, and just take a deep breath inside my car before I go on a line in front of the USCIS building. It is very important, guys, that you give yourself a room in case there is traffic or, you know, something pops up while you are on the way to the USCIS field office. So the traffic wasn't too bad while I was on the way, but when I got to the USCIS field office, there was so many people waiting in front, and the parking, it was hard for me at first to find a parking, but I found one since there was a lot of people in front already. I think they're waiting for their oath ceremony, people who are going for their interview. So it was just a busy day for that field office. So other than that, it went well. 15 minutes before my interview, I went ahead in front and joined the line, and then there's an officer there who will ask for your appointment letter, and then he will ask you some questions like, have you traveled outside the United States for the last 14 days? Have you ever had contact with somebody who had COVID? Or do you have any explosive with you? And I answered it all with no, and then he told me to go and proceed to the security. Put my bag on a beam, my cell phone, all my documents that I have with me, and also they requested for me to take off my high heels. I was wearing a high heel, so I took it off, passed through the x-ray machine, and everything was great. Could get my documents back, and then I proceed to the line for the check-in window. They will ask for your appointment letter and your green card, so get that ready. All right, after that, the officer gave me two numbers. The first one was the number for me to be called for my photograph and for my fingerprints. So that was very fast. After I got that number, 5 minutes after waiting, I was called to a window and they took my photograph and then my fingerprints for both my left and right index finger. After that, I went back to the waiting area and waited for my second number to be called. 15 minutes after they did all my biometrics and my photograph, my number was called. It seems like numbers were being called randomly because the lady beside me she was like P114 and I was P168, and I got called first before her, and she told me that she was there at 9:30 a.m. and I was there waiting from like 10:20 a.m. So I think it is being called random. I'm not too sure about it. So when my number was called, I went ahead to the door, and then there's the officer waiting for me. I handed him my appointment letter, and then he told me to follow him to the office. When we got to his office, I put down my things and put me under oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And then I answered, I do, officer. So after he put me under oath, he asked for my green card, a state issue ID, and my Philippine passport. So I got all those together and I handed it to him. After that, he asked me the question, are you married? And then I answered, yes, officer, I am married. And then he asked me back, is your spouse a US citizen? And I answered, yes, officer, my spouse is a US citizen by birth. After that, he was just typing in his computer. And after that, we proceed to the civics test. So I actually have here, guys, I listed all the questions that he asked me for my civics test. The first question was, what does the Constitution do? And I answered, sets up the government. The second question was, the idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words? And I answered, we the people. For the third question, what do we call the first 10 amendments of the Constitution? And I answered, the Bill of Rights. And then my fourth question was, who is the commander-in-chief of the military? I answered, the president. The fifth question, when do we vote for president? I answered, November. And for the number 6 question, name one problem that led to the Civil War. I answered, slavery. So I got 6 consecutive correct answers. So he stopped there. You are given 10 questions and you have to get 6 correct answers for you to be able to pass the civics test. So I got the first 6 questions. I answered them all correctly. So he stopped. After the civics, something pops up on the tablet in front of me, and the officer told me to read who was the first president. And then the officer said something and he told me to write on the tablet using my fingers the statement that he is going to tell me. And then he told me Washington was the first president. After I did, he said I passed the civics test, the reading, and the writing test. After that, he asked me some of the yes or no question, and some of those questions was, have you ever stated that you are a US citizen? So I answered no. These are trick questions, guys, so be careful to listen to the officer, because some of the questions, they are not asking you what is exactly on the N400 form. Some officers do, but some officers sometimes change. The second question for my yes and no question was, have you ever voted in a federal election? And I said no. And then after that, he asked me, do you support the Constitution of the United States of America? I said, yes, I do, officer. Are you willing to take full oath of allegiance when you become a US citizen? I answered, yes, I do, officer. And then the last question was, do you promise to be loyal to the United States when you become a US citizen? And I answered, yes, I do, officer. After that, he just updated some of the information on his computer, and on the tablet, something pops up again. And he told me to review the information that I'm seeing. That was my last name, my first name, my middle name, my birth date, the country I am from, and some of just personal information. So you have to make sure, because it states there that those information will be on your naturalization certificate. So once I'm done, I told him everything is correct, officer, and he told me to sign. Then after I signed on the tablet, he handed me this naturalization interview result. So this is what he handed me, and it actually, there's like some of the lines in here, but the first one, it says here is, the date today, you were interviewed by Officer Tunnel, and then there's an X mark on the first checkbox. You passed the English test and US history and government test. So he told me, congratulations, you passed the interview, you're now a US citizen, and we will mail you your schedule for your oath-taking ceremony. Then after that, he walked with me to the waiting area and he just congratulated me again. That was my experience inside the officer's office. The interview really went so fast, guys. I had so many documents with me in case he asked for some transcript or whatever documents he would ask. I brought it all with me, but he really only asked for my appointment letter, green card, my driver's license, and my Philippine passport. That was it. I believe I was inside his office for 10 minutes only and I was done. Just for some tips, first is be courteous and be respectful to the officer. They're just doing their job. What they say, respect begets respect. You know, say yes sir, yes ma'am, yes officer, no officer. Just address them properly and you will get the same treatment from the officers. The second tip that I can tell you is be truthful. For everything that you say, the USCIS officer already reviewed all your information. So do not lie. Just tell everything. Be honest. If you have something that you're keeping, just be honest and tell them the truth, because who knows, they already did your background check and everything. So just be honest, guys. My third tips, guys, let the officer finish talking before you answer. Have an eye contact to the USCIS officer. That will only demonstrate that you are being truthful to whatever information you are sharing. For the fourth one, if you did not understand the question, you can always ask, pardon me, officer, would you please repeat the question? Do not answer if you didn't really understand the question. You can always ask the officer to repeat the question for you. And of course, you have to think before you speak. You know, your first answer, that's the answer that they're taking from you. So make sure that you've already thought about it before you say your answer. There's no rush, guys. For the last one is enjoy the process. Yes, it is very normal to be nervous. I was nervous for the first 3 minutes that I was with the officer. But after that, him being so friendly, it just helped me to become calm. Just take a deep breath and just trust the process. Everything is gonna be okay. As long as you did your part to prepare all the documents you think will help on your process. And of course, if you studied for the test, there's nothing to worry about. If you're telling the truth and you did this process, you should be good. There's nothing to worry. Just really enjoy the process and everything will be okay. It was my full experience, guys, on my citizenship interview today. It was such an amazing experience. It's just so worthy that all the processes that I've been through, I can finally say that this is the last part of my immigration journey. All I have to do is to wait for my oath-taking ceremony to be scheduled. So that's it for my US citizenship interview experience, guys. It was such an amazing and super worthy experience that I will forever treasure. That's my amazing experience for the citizenship interview, guys. I hope I was able to give you an idea what to expect for a citizenship interview. You know what to look forward and you know what could happen when you go for your citizenship interview. Hopefully this will help and will give you an idea when your time comes for you to take your citizenship interview as well. So if you have any question, guys, please comment it down below and I will be more than happy to answer it for you. So that's it for today's video, guys. I appreciate your time watching this video, and if you like it, please don't forget to hit the like button and also hit the notification bell and the subscribe button for you to be updated every time I share a new video. Thanks, guys.